What up, y'all? So I'm reporting a little late on this story because the Diddy cases had me busy on my other legal page. But looks like Jonathan Majors has closed out the Grace Jabari chapter in his life. She sued Jonathan Majors earlier this year, and the case has been dismissed with prejudice, which means she can't come back and refile this anymore. All right, so here's a little history on the whole situation. Grace Jabari was Jonathan Majors' ex, and they got into an altercation last year, 2023, in New York, and she accused him of harming her. Now, if I remember correctly, he had about 3 or 4 charges, and all of the severe ones kind of got thrown out. He wasn't convicted on them, but the jury did say that he was guilty of third-degree assault, which is unintentionally harming someone. This charge essentially came from when he was picking her up and kept trying to put her back into the vehicle during their altercation, and no matter how it's perceived, you really can't push someone or shove someone, even if you're trying to keep them in a car. After the criminal case was over, as expected, she did go in and file a lawsuit against him for assault, defamation, and some other things. Now, I am the queen of settle the damn lawsuit. When she sued him and filed the lawsuit, out of all of my friends in this space of content creation, I was the one standing on an island by myself saying, give her some money and let her go on about her life. Do not try to fight this lawsuit. I'm a believer that this is the price you pay for celebrity. It's not an admission of guilt. It's a take this little coin so I don't gotta deal with you anymore. He should have paid her before the lawsuit was ever filed. His people knew it was coming, and they decided to kind of play these games for the last couple months. And honestly, nothing good was gonna come out of trying to fight this lawsuit. They both had a very toxic relationship, and when you decide to go to the civil route, both of their dirty laundry was about to come out full force. So it sounds like they reached a private settlement. A lawyer made a statement about it and essentially alluded to the fact that, there was a nice little payday and everything should just be done and over with. I am also a personal believer that I don't think he should try to appeal his conviction either. Nobody likes a criminal record. However, continuing to associate with this woman, going back and forth in court, ultimately, it does not help his main goal, which is to get back into Hollywood. So just leave it where it's at. Maybe after about a decade or so, you can call the courts up, see if you can get it expunged and thrown off of your record. But man, just move on, Jonathan. He's recently been engaged with Megan Good. Magazine Dreams is about to come out this year. It was picked up by like an indie distribution company, and he's also working on another movie, which is like a psychological thriller. And after that, he's got to figure it out. He has to go out and get it out of the mud. It's going to be tough. His reputation has took a gigantic hit. But hey, my boy, you done proposed to this woman. You got to go rub some elbows and figure out how to get some more roles. As far as Marvel is concerned, is there a chance that he may come back? Hey, anything's possible. I've always said he needed someone to advocate for him to get him back working in the industry. When you think about RDJ, Jon Favreau fought for him to get the job as Tony Stark. When you think about Wesley Snipes coming back to Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds reached out to Wesley and fought for him to come back. So it's going to be the same thing with Jonathan Majors. He's going to need somebody in Marvel to fight for him. So maybe some of his peers can go to bat for him. If not, Marvel isn't the end game in the movie industry. He has other options, and I just hope this is like a lesson learned, and he just moves on and he lives a great life. So, how do y'all feel about the lawsuit being dismissed for Jonathan Majors? Leave your comments below. But moving on. Next up, so last week, the actor Jussie Smollett, his criminal conviction was overturned by the Supreme Court, and I want to say I'm happy for Jussie.
Listen, I'm trying to grow my legal page here where I cover all types of cases, so please subscribe if you like these type of videos.
Now, to be very clear, the case that Jussie Smollett caused was completely outrageous, and he deserved to suffer consequences for all the uproar that he kicked up. But he did not deserve to be charged twice for similar crimes. So here's the backstory on the case. So back around 2019, Jussie Smollett claimed it was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, freezing cold in Chicago, and he decided to get up because he wanted a sandwich from Subway. He said as he's walking the Subway at 2 o'clock in the morning in the freezing cold to get a sandwich, he was attacked. He said 2 men put a noose around his head, assaulted him, and said, "Welcome to MAGA country," and they was hollering all type of racial slurs to him. He alluded they were 2 white men. He ran home after the assault and called the police to report the incident, and it became a national headline. Okay, we all know that it was an absolute lie. We know that today. He decided to stage this outrageous situation in the height of racial tensions in our country. It was all fake. It was a scam. He then went on to do interviews and tried to make people believe like this really happened. A lot of people at the time was like, This don't sound right. This is really weird. So many details never made sense. Like who wakes up or who stays up to 2 o'clock in the morning and decides to walk the subway in the snow in Chicago? And why was there just two random MAGA people walking around Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning with bleach and a noose and decided to attack you? None of it made sense. So as the police start investigating, they're trying to find these MAGA men. They eventually was like, man, this was a hoax. This is fake. None of this happened the way that he say that it happened. He pretty much hired two of his friends or buddies to beat him up and stage the crime. So he was eventually charged with filing a fake police report, ordered to do community service. He was fined like $10,000 and the case was closed. It was over.
And I think people have to remember that he wasn't charged or prosecuted for staging the hoax with the Osundario brothers. What he was prosecuted for, charged with, initially indicted by our office, was filing a false police report. That's what he was charged with, the filing of a false police report, which is it's our lowest level felony. It's one step above a misdemeanor. And in cases like that, generally we do a diversion. You don't get jail time.
2 years later, a special prosecutor comes in and wanted to recharge him. Except this time, instead of charging him with filing a fake police report, they charged him with obstruction of justice. Now, a lot of people who follow legal cases, including myself, when this happened, we was like, this kind of sounds like double jeopardy. This don't feel right. Once you charge somebody and they do their time, you can't come back and charge them again for something that's kind of similar in the same atmosphere. Now, once again, majority of people thought what Jussie did was very stupid, but you can't do it twice. You can't hit him up twice. I think because he initially kind of got like a slap on the wrist with like the community service, the special prosecutor was like, nah, I'm in here and you gonna pay hard for your time. So when he was charged the second time, of course, he was convicted. He was found guilty. He was sentenced to 5 months in jail and over $120,000 in restitution. And the whole time he was like, nah, this is wrong. Like, y'all can't do this. So him and his attorneys, they fought, appealed it. They made it all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court ruled like, yeah, this is kind of double jeopardy. If he was charged initially, took a plea, did his time, y'all can't come back and charge him again for something that's kind of in the same realm. So last week, he was vindicated. They erased that second conviction. And I was happy because, listen, the law is the law. Keep it fair. Y'all didn't or wouldn't do this to anybody else, so don't do this to him. There are so many cases of people calling the police and lying and saying somebody did something and they didn't. And so many times the police don't double back and go back and charge the people who filed the false police report. So yeah, Jussie did something that was very dumb. For whatever reason, we'll probably never find out the truth because he keeps insisting that this fabricated story is real, but he doesn't deserve to be tried twice for similar or same things. Let's check out another clip of the initial prosecutor, Kim Fox, and see what she had to say about the conviction.
Your reaction, this was a unanimous decision.
I'm unsurprised. I took criminal procedure my first year of law school, and so I understood double jeopardy. And the fact of the matter is, Mr. Smollett had gotten a plea arrangement. He fulfilled his obligations. The case was dismissed. And so the appointment of a special prosecutor, the reindictment, I knew from the very beginning that amounted to double jeopardy.